Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher, back again, with a few things to talk about. Not a ton of Q&A, but that's okay. A little bit of haul. I've got some whip updates to show you. I've once again changed the rotation, because that's how I roll, yo. Um, so yeah. How's everybody been? Awesome, it's really good to hear. So we'll dive in to the Q&A. First, I love that everybody was thrilled with my throwdown at Michelle. So, and I'm looking forward to helping her come up with her own Oz design. I think it's gonna be really awesome. Um, E. Bell asks me, what's my favorite count of fabric to stitch on, and do I stitch 1/1 or 2/2? My personal favorites, I like anywhere in the 28 to 32 range for if I'm doing it on like an even weave or a linen. Ada's, I prefer really, I kind of like it all 14, 16, or 18. Um, so I'm not overly picky. I don't enjoy generally 36 count linen, which is weird because I like 18 count Ada, but go figure. And I don't really enjoy 40. I'll do it if I have to, but it's not my favorite. And it's primarily because I really prefer to stitch, I prefer to do 2/2. I really don't enjoy over 1. I will do it if it's minimal. I will never do over 1 skin again. I learned my lesson on Oz. No thank you. That was not an enjoyable experience. Um, what I have been known to do in cases where it's 1/1 is I'll do 2/1 and do half stitches. And then if I need to, I'll do a full stitch on the outside edges to make it look solid. Otherwise, no, I'm not. I'm definitely a 2/2er. That being said, I don't mind 1/2 if I'm working with a thick enough fiber. So, like working with the Aurifil 1/2, great, love it. So boop, boop, doo. Let's see. That was kind of it. As always, drop me some questions down in the below, because I like questions. You may have seen I've been a little bit more active on Instagram lately. These things do happen. The next round of WIPGO numbers were called. So in this case, it is 500 stitches on closest finish and 3 FFOs. So now I have 6 FFOs that I've got to come up with by the end of the year. I have a week off in October, and I swear I'm going to do it then. Swear I'm going to do it then. Sure. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So, left still to do on the ones that I'm behind on is 500 on closest finish. 400 on my largest whip. 500 again on closest finish, because that was called this month. 400 stitches on a Christmas whip. So we've got, I'm not that far behind. I'm only 2 behind, basically. I don't have a full whip go yet, but that's okay. So, the 500 stitches on closest finish, there's 2 of those. My plan there is going to be, we'll get as much of it out, 500, or we're going to clarify a little, 500 or an actual finish on the closest finish. So my Mirabilia, which is going to be used for the marathon, which is probably my closest finish. It's going to get the 500 there. So that's kind of how I'm going to look at that one a little bit, is, that, and then probably, I think Emerald City from Satsuma is the next closest finish. So those are probably going to be the two that get it, and it's either going to be 500 or a finish. Call it a day there. 400 on largest whip, because I'm not going to double dip. Probably the Alice in Wonderland one is my largest right now. I don't know. Watch this when you see what I'm working on, and I'll try to give my stitch counts on all of them as well. Watch this, and when you see what y'all vote and see what y'all think is actually my largest whip. Not including the Mirabilia or Emerald City, because they're bookmarked already for other projects or other things. So, okay, I didn't show you my haul. Okay, so first was this month's, or the most recent piece. I'll show you, because the other one's going to lead right on into the discussion of what I'm working on this week. So the first was my my fabric of the month from Fortnite Fabrics. And this one's called Couture. This is the August fabric of the month. This behind it, so maybe we can get. It's gonna be a really hard one to get an accurate color on. It's a very light blue. It's a very sparkly light blue. So it's pretty. So I need to leave it out before it gets put away. They've had some shipping issues with their labels. So there's no label for this month, so I gotta label that one myself. Alright, so the other thing I got, which leads into the projects of starting, was the fabric for the Witchy Stitcher Cryptids. And I'm doing it on this beautiful piece of 16 count Aida. It's from Deerfoot Fabrics. It's called Victoria, and I already started it a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. So here's the full piece. It's so gorgeous. There's a better picture of it, I think, on my Instagram, but I got a little bit of a corner done. So I have enough done now, I believe I can place the first cryptid, because this is a big border. This is going to be a take it to work and work on it border, which will probably be sometime in the next week that it's going to get to make that journey. So this one may be a little bit trickier to pull off and as being my largest because it's stitch along, so I'm not going to necessarily be able to get as much accomplished. But it is, it's 194. I just had it. Where'd it go? 194 by 244. So 194 stitches by 244 stitches. So this one also gets to live in the same bag as my other cryptid one because it's almost done and it just makes sense to keep the bag theme going. So this one was actually, I didn't hear back from Cassandra, so Matt, MBC Stitcher, graciously agreed to pick for me for this month. So he picked the Quirky Quaker Cryptids. These are by Darling and Whimsy. And since I finished this one, I'm not going to show you the pattern for it. But it's the third of 4. So this is on Mayflower, also 16 count from Deerfoot Fabrics. So I did Nessie this month. Nessie was charted in 1 color only, so I went ahead and did 2 colors. So here we go. So all that's left now is the Sasquatch, and he's like 45 by 45, so he's not big. He's little. But I managed to do that in a couple hours. This one's a really good one. Like, quite honestly, I have Monday off next week, and I may just pull this out on Monday and knock it out that day, because they can be done in just a couple hours. And that's it. I'm sad. I'm gonna be sad that that one's over, because it's been... It's fun, and it's pretty, and I like it. Okay, so things that I've worked on. So here's my Mirabilia. Like I said, this one's being used for the marathon. It's on Enchanted Forest Opal from Under the Sea Fabrics. I got the wings done, y'all! Look at those wings! They're so sparkly! I don't know how well they're sparkling on this, but they're so sparkly! Ah. So I got her skin colors picked. So I'm ready to go into this last great little bit. Then I gotta order the beads. Fortunately, she's not super bead heavy. And I may actually, there's supposed to be beads. There's supposed to be sort of a beaded sash thing that runs through her skirt down there. But I may end up cutting that, in which case then I'll need to go fill those in. But that won't take terribly long. I don't think any of those are blends. Or if they are, I can fudge around it. So, like I said, this is going to be my one for the first one I'll do for the marathon. I think my second one for the marathon will probably be Alice in Wonderland, because I expect I'll finish this hopefully before the end of September. So, if I finish it before I hit 100 hours, then I think Alice in Wonderland will be the next one I work on. So, I worked on Anne Frank. She got a little more love. She got some love yesterday. This is on an unknown purple fabric. This one is by Gera. It's the one that I'm doing for Stitch Asia. I assume that's still going on. It's 102 by 134. So here's the full chart. I think I've decided that I'm actually going to not stitch the planes or the barbed wire. I think I may not do that part. I may leave those out just because I don't know. We'll see. But I got started on I got one side wall is all done. And I got started on the roof. It's a really terrible representation of the colors. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, that's better. So, there we go. Okay, my work project continues to be Little Women by Stitching Book Club. I'm almost done with the house, y'all. So I think I'll probably finish the house this week on my lunch break. And then once the house is done, I don't think I'm going to do the final border on it. We'll see how I'm feeling when I get there, of course. But Little Women is how big? Um, 130 by 154. And it may actually technically be another one that's a very close finish. Okay. All right, we've got Alice in Wonderland. Oh, and I'm doing this one on, sorry, I'm doing Little Women on Eccentric Sky. Yeah, Eccentric Sky by Fortnite Fabrics. The entire size of Alice in Wonderland is 263 by 263. I did give it some attention this week, so I actually finished part 1. I got a second flower pot done. So part 1 and part 3 are done, and I'm about halfway through part 2. So I'm doing this primarily in Aurifil, but I am using some overdyes for the borders. And I'm doing it on X-Jude's, where is the slippy thing? I want to say Charming Autumn. Yes, Charming Autumn by X-Jude. Okay. Then there is Casting a Spell, which is by Blackbird Designs. This one is the sampler, so it's working out bigger than, so I don't really have a good stitch count on this. So here's the overall. So it's this, and then adding along the top at least a quote that you'll see eventually. This one's another one that's on Deerfoot Fabrics. This is on Texas Wildflower. This is a Lugana, I believe. Yeah, 32 count Lugana. So, and I'm using a combination of Aurifil and thread from Deerfoot. There we go. I decided to change the chart here, originally called for a letter and a flower. I decided to go with a 31, and then I brought in some symbols from the other, from another spot. So, and this here, the way the gradation worked out was by pure happenstance, that one of them it goes darker to lighter towards the center, and the other one goes darker to lighter from the center. So that was pure happenstance that it worked out that way. So I basically managed to invert it, which I thought was really cool. So I don't have a stitch count on that one, but it is a little, it's somewhat large. Okay. What's this one? Oh, Strawberry Fields Forever, which I did not work on this week. But I'll still go ahead and show you. This one's back out in play. This one does have a border. It is 95 by 138. I'm doing it on Winterbrook from Under the Sea Fabrics. As is always the case with Blackbird designs, there are some color swaps. So there's the full pattern. But this was the one that Rob picked for his. And I finished out the house. And I got a good start on the border on the side. So hopefully the next time I work on this one, I will actually finish that little quadrant. And I'll be a quarter of the way done. So, and it's got my Grover needle minder because I kind of realized that I love Grover anyways, and I've had that needle minder on since the beginning. But I'm slowly but surely coming to the realization that I am Grover. Overly enthusiastic, not good at much, but will be certainly willing to give it the good old try. So, and probably shouldn't be your waiter. Alright, I did have a new start, because of course I did. This one is by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. She's on Etsy. And it's a new one of hers. It's called Wicked Siblings, and I fell in love with it because of these cute little ghosts. I love ghosts. And its stitch count is 163 by 186. I'm doing this on a one-off from Fortnite Fabrics that I'm calling Black Widow. It's an 18 count Ada, and it is a darker fabric. I don't know how well this is going to really show up. But it called for a dark fabric. There we go. So I got part of her shawl done. That's where I'm at on her. But it was super cute. And I've got to figure out the color for the ghosts so that they'll kind of blend into this a little bit, like they're supposed to. But it was super cute, and I couldn't not. So it replaced, because I spun Night Walked down and was getting like nothing accomplished and had no real energy to work on it. So I thought, we'll put you away for now. All right, so the other two that have not yet been worked on, one of them is obviously my Whip Go goal for 400 on a Christmas piece. So this one had to come back out. Is my Lizzie Kate Spirit of Christmas. And I really don't have all that much left on it, so I think the 400 will probably get me a good dent. And this one I don't have a stitch count for because it's been heavily modified by yours truly. And then the other one left to go that somehow hasn't managed to come up on my wheel, probably because I keep slightly redoing it, is Good Old Chickens. And it is 157 by 126. And that's where I'm at. So yeah, that one's not come up in a while. So that is where I am at for the moment with my stitching. We are at the end of August. Spoopy season starts officially very, very soon. I think Wednesday or Thursday. And I am definitely ready for Halloween. I love Halloween. It's so great. Anyhow, that's kind of it for me for today. As always, if you've got questions, drop them down below, because I loves me some questions. And like I said, vote on which one you think is my largest piece. We'll go from there. So, anyhow, I will see you all probably in 2 weeks. I hope everyone has a great couple of weeks, and I'll see y'all next time.